Indeed, God did not send the Son into the world to condemn the world, but in order that the world might be saved through him. That's what this is all about. I can end my sermon right now. But this is what church is about. This is what it's all about. This is what faith is about. This is what baptism is about. This is what communion is about. This is what this text is about. It is all about God, the one and only true God, coming down to us broken and sinful, arrogant and prideful people that we are, meeting us where we are and saving us. That's what all of this is about. That is what is at the core of what we are talking about today. It is at the core of the Christian message. It is what is at the core of our Lenten journey that we are on. God comes down to us and meets us where we are and saves us. And that's all we need to know. But we're not satisfied with that. I look at Nicodemus in today's text, and I can relate with him on so many levels. There is something inherently buried inside of me that wants to know why, or how can this be? This inquisitive instinct is what actually led me into the science field in my previous life. I was fascinated with finding out the why behind things, of playing, of talking and experimenting until I was able to walk away with some certainty of why this thing did this thing. And so I completely identify with Nicodemus's plight and flight into the night to talk to Jesus. Jesus, how can this be? How does this work? What do we have to do to be part of this thing that God is connected with? These are the ponderings after my own heart. How? Why? How come? And Jesus, he replies. He replies with a rhetoric that just makes a person's head spin, especially someone who is looking for concrete answers. Jesus instead talks about things being born from above and spirit and wind and blowing where they want to go. Earthly things and heavenly things and things of flesh coming from flesh. His answer makes me crinkle up my nose and furrow my brow and be like, huh? We want concrete answers here, Jesus. That's what we want. And Jesus says, and that's the problem. There's only one concrete answer here, but to be able to understand it, you have to actually move outside of the realm of the concrete. And that is only done by way of the Spirit. In my broken self, I want to throw up my hands and be like, come on, just make it simple. Just tell us so that we might know, so that we might be able to understand. It would be wonderful. But I'm starting to understand that that isn't the way the realm of faith works. The realm of faith works in a different manner. It doesn't say check your brain or your logic at the door. No, instead, it says, let's look at things with a new perspective, through a new lens. The God who came down to meet us, to save us, is the God that meets us in the unexpected, in the ways that we weren't anticipating. And that's what Jesus is trying to convey to Nicodemus that night. we are moving from the realm of knowledge, of knowing, of understanding, to the realm of faith and belief and trust. And what is interesting is that there is a very distinctive move and shift within the text that follows this. The beginning of the text is all about knowledge of what is known and understood. But then this huge shift occurs in verses 11 and 12. Right before the shift, Jesus sets up this rite of passage for Nicodemus. Nicodemus asks, how can these things be? He's asking for these concrete examples to what Jesus is talking about the wind and the spirit of blowing and choosing. And he says, how can this be? And now the ushering begins. Nicodemus takes his first steps on this path from head knowledge to faith, to trust. Jesus says, if I tell you about concrete things and you can't accept that or trust those answers, then how can I tell you about heavenly things? This shift, this change of focus, this leaving the realm of concrete thinking, of black and white, and entering the realm of the abstract, of gray, of faith and trust, it is not an easy journey. And in many ways, it's our journey too. We are called to trust, to leave the realm of A plus B equals C and enter into the realm where anything literally is possible. We too are called on this journey. And we too are now on this journey in this time of Lent. It is our journey where we admit that God works by rules and guidelines that don't necessarily match up to what we, as our human dust creatures, expect. And we have to realize that we aren't little g gods that dictate to God that God has to work within our set of rules and expectations. That is the journey, to expand our view, to put a new lens on and see the world through faith, rather than confining God to our expectations and what we want and what we believe. It isn't easy, this transition, this journey that we are on, and sometimes it is painful to get confronted by the realities of a God bigger than the box that we have created. It is hard because it makes us have to admit that we aren't in control and we don't know everything. We have to leave our realms of self-importance and comfort and move into that realm of faith and trust. And admit that we are broken, that we aren't in control, that we are creatures. We are the created, not the creators. And part of this journey from our comfort niche to the realm of trust and faith is also knowing and believing and understanding and trusting that we are broken people. And this realm of belief, so too, is our trust in God. It's in this lens that being broken is okay. In our brokenness, even in our trust, that trust is broken too, because we still want to know. We still want to know, what do I have to do to become worthy of the Spirit? What do I have to do to say, to trust? What do I need to do to believe, to enter the kingdom? What do I have to do to be more? And the answer is nothing. There is nothing that we can say or do or know. There is nothing that we can do to earn. All I can say is be assured that while we are broken, while we are even in our broken trust, while we are in our broken belief and inability to fully accept, that's when God sent Jesus down to us, not to condemn our brokenness, not to shatter us more, but to save us in that brokenness, to make us whole. It is his faith and trust, Jesus' faith and trust, that are unbroken, unstained by sin. And it is his trust and faith that redeems us. And just like I said before, that's what it's all about. It's all about this brokenness that we are in and cannot free ourselves from, and admitting that that is fine. Because God doesn't mandate that you change and are perfect before he saves you. No, God sent Jesus to meet you where you are and say, "You are my beloved." To meet us in the unexpected shadows and pains and brokenness of our life, in the unexpected places of the cross, in the unexpected manner of death, and in the unexpected acceptance of who we are. And God gave Jesus to die for us, to save us, not condemn us, to claim us, to forgive us. I guess in a weird way, this whole scene of Nicodemus and Jesus, it's kind of like a child asking the parent why and looking for that concrete answer. I want to know why. And the parent replies, because. Because I said so. Or because that's just the way it is. Or just because. I might have done that once or twice. And in a weird way, that is what this movement from head knowledge, concrete knowledge, to this realm of faith and trust in God is like. We and Nicodemus are asking why, and God is lovingly and tenderly looking at us and answering because. We might not be satisfied with that answer. We might never be. We might want another. But there is no other answer. So embrace the not needing to know the whole fullness of the mystery of God. And instead, just let God be God. And revel in the grace that God showers upon us. Revel in knowing that God sent Jesus to save us, not to condemn us. And revel in the simple and beautiful words and wonderful reality of God's answer of, because you are my beloved. Amen.